What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I want to go over the whole entire Subaru with you guys because it's pretty much done. So when I say pretty much, I mean as far as like mostly modifications and stuff that I wanted to do to the car, it's more or less done. Most of the stuff left is body work. Obviously, you guys see the front bumper and everything. It does need body work, but that's going to be maybe next year sometime. We'll see. I got to get a quote to do all the body work. I also have to find a WRX hood. I got to find a WRX front bumper, a WRX rear bumper, and a pair of WRX side skirts. And then I'll probably wind up also doing a grille, headlights, and taillights. I really want the sequential headlights and the sequential taillights. I really want them. And then there's a chrome piece on the rear hatch that I would also like to either paint, or they make a like carbon fiber overlay for it. But other than that, the car is the exact way that I want it. It's the way I envisioned it when I bought it. So it's taken me about 2.5 years to get it to this point. So I'm going to go over with you guys everything done to it and why I personally think I honestly feel like I knocked it out of the park with this car, as far as still being able to use it as a daily driver and everything. So let's hop right into it, guys, and I'll go over all the modifications done to this vehicle. Even some of the stuff that I did, I took stock options from a higher model Subaru Impreza, and I put them on this car, and I will go over everything with you guys. You'll get the full build list on this thing, and then just know the mods that I just said as far as body work and everything and body panels, those will be coming up, but they won't be for a while. We're probably either going to do some rust repair on the Jeep next, or we're going to start getting the Mustang actually back on the road. So one of those is coming up next, so stay tuned for that. So if you do not know this vehicle right here, this is a 2009 Subaru Impreza 2.5i. I bought this car shortly after my Impala decided to chuck a rod bearing, started rod knocking and everything. So I picked this car up from my boss. Actually, I got a pretty good deal on this car considering what it is. This car was a car from my work. It was a person that used to come in for work or to get their car fixed. They used to come in to get their car fixed. So this car actually came in one day with a rod knock. Now at the time the car had 88-ish thousand miles. So my boss ended up buying this. I'm not 100% sure what he paid for it. I don't really want to disclose that even if I did know, but he picked it up and it had a blown up motor. So what happened with the whole engine and everything is we got an EJ 253 with 20,000 miles on it. It was just a short block. We sent the heads out, got them all machined and everything. And if you guys know these cars, these have head gasket problems. It's just a Subaru thing. I mean, it is what it is. Currently right now, I do have a slight oil leak out of the driver head, but it's very slight, and I'm not going to worry about it until it gets a lot worse. It doesn't really use oil between oil changes or anything, so it's not a big deal. So that's as far as how I ended up with this car. Now let's go over what I've done to this car, because this car has come an extremely long way. So I mean, we'll start with the easy stuff. You guys see a tinted windshield. This is 35% ceramic tint on the windshield. My Scooby sticker, obviously, it's my Scooby right here. Named it that. I got the stock roof rack that Subaru sells. As you can see, the Subaru emblem right there. This is a INNO. I don't know how to say it, which is why I'm not saying it. But this is a INNO fairing for your roof rack. And then obviously I have my YouTube tag up top. Nothing special there. These are AVS rain guards front and back. I did the carbon fiber door handle covers because I had a slight scuff right here on the door handle, so I just wanted to cover it up because it wouldn't come off. Like, I tried to polish it off, it wouldn't come off, so that's why those are there. Honestly, they grew on me over time. I didn't like them at first. And then obviously you guys see we have our Enkai wheels, we have Nitto tires, we have the Power Stop Street Performance brake upgrade kit, front and back. We have our Rally Armor mud flaps. The car sits on Raceland Primo coilovers. They're the ones with the adjustable valving. They are honestly very great for the money, guys, but you do need to know that when you do hit big bumps in the road, they almost make like a hissing noise. I called Raceland and they said it's actually normal for them. It's something to do with the dust boots and air getting in the dust boot, and when it goes down it just makes that noise. Doesn't bother me at all. It's really not a bad noise. It's just kind of weird, but you kind of get used to it. So as far as suspension, everything, that is that. I'm waiting for stainless braided brake hoses actually to come. I ordered them about a month ago, but they ship from the supplier, so it's yeah, it's gonna take a while. They say September I'm gonna receive them, so once I get those, I'm gonna throw those on, but I ordered those a while ago. Then if we come up front here, my buddy used to have an 08 Impreza hatch, so he actually took his lip off and stuff when he got rid of the car, so I was given a lip, which is why I have a lip. I'll probably go with a brand new lip when I do the front bumper. I have a 2.5i badge. That is not an STI badge. I will never like up badge any of my vehicles. I promise you guys that. That's a 2.5i badge. I just think it looks really, really good, you know, off to the side there. I did add the factory fog lights. So this car was a complete base model car, so it didn't have anything. So I added the factory fog lights, but they're yellow. Then we have our sponsor. If you guys need LEDs, auxito.com, discount code Dylan's Garage at checkout. So we have their fog light LEDs, we have their LED headlights, we have their LED markers, and we have their LED high beams. Then up here in the grill, you guys won't be able to see it, but I do have a trans cooler. The reason I do have the trans cooler is because when you sport shift these cars, they do come with sport shift, but when you do sport shift them, the trans tends to get hot. So they do recommend you put an aftermarket cooler. I piggybacked mine to the stock cooler just so I can have two coolers. This is exactly what I did there. But yeah, so that's definitely a must if you're gonna, you know, sport shift the car. And I sport shift the car a lot. When we get to the interior, I'll let you guys know why, but I do use it a lot, so the cooler is definitely a good idea. As far as the exterior, if we go to the back, we do have a WRX wing, which I got a really good deal on, and then everything else back here is mostly stock. So the exhaust on this car, if you guys have not heard it, it sounds absolutely awesome. It sounds just like an STI minus a turbo. So I do have the unequal length header. It's a I can't think of it. I'll put it when I look it up. I'll put it right here. But we do have an unequal length header. Then we do have the J pipe that matches that header, but I cut it apart. So the catalytic converter on this vehicle is typically in the header. I moved the cat to the J pipe, and then I bought an O2 extension harness, and I moved the O2 sensor behind the cat on the J pipe. So it does have a J pipe that I mocked up myself. You will not be able to buy that J pipe, and you also will not be able to buy the cat back for this vehicle that I currently have. So I do have a MagnaFlow high flow cat, and then it goes back to a stock replacement catback, but I cut out the resonator that came with, and I put a cherry bomb, the longest one they sell, to get rid of any rasp that might have happened with the exhaust the way it is. And then if you come all the way to the back, I have a Flowmaster Flow FX muffler, and then I just have like an eBay exhaust tip right there. It's a 4-inch tip. So that concludes all the modifications out here. Actually, no, it doesn't. So I do have a third brake light strobe module, and I do have a shark fin antenna. So now that includes all the modifications out here. Now, as far as options that I've added, I know I already mentioned the fog lights, but I did add pretty much everything you can add to this vehicle minus a sunroof, and obviously minus a turbocharger. But these side view mirrors, I went to the junkyard and I got heated ones. I don't think I did a video on that, but they're pretty easy. You just got to pin the connectors properly to the door, which if you guys have shop software like AllData or anything, you can definitely find that information. I'm sure you could find it on Google. They go on with your rear defroster, so they will work. They're very, very nice to have, especially if you guys get snow. As far as the windshield goes, recently my windshield cracked, so instead of replacing it with like a base model windshield, I had them put the heated windshield in with, you can't see it now, but it has the stock tint strip with the little triangle thing in the middle here. So it's like the highest model windshield that Subaru put out in this vehicle. So that's everything outside for the most part. And then if we come inside the car, I have the STI steering wheel with the red stitching, and it's awesome. We have a red stitch shift boot, we have a red stitched center console, and we upgraded all the speakers in here to the premium sound system. So I do have the tweeters, and then the speakers have tweeters on them themselves, and they're just like a nicer, higher quality speaker. Now the door panels, again, STI, red stitched. Pretty much grabbed everything from the STI minus the seats. The reason I did not get the seats is because they are very, very pricey, and I mainly only did the seats in this car because I wanted heated seats. So that brings us to right now. The seats in this vehicle are from an Outback Sport, which if you guys don't know, it's pretty much an Impreza that has a lift kit from the factory. So these are Outback Sport seats, which they're very comfortable. They have nice bolstering, and they are very, very comfortable, and I paid $125 for all of them, the front and back. Can't beat that. They do have heated seats, heated switches. I did have to replace the heating pad on the bottom of this seat. It was broken when I got it, but I did replace that. I do have a video on that if you guys are interested. It's on my channel. You can take a look if you want. But yeah, so that's where these seats came from. And then probably my favorite mod out of all of it is these right here. These are paddle shifters. So that was only available in Japan for the Imprezas with the 4E AT, at least this body style. I know the newer ones got paddles, but these never got paddles. So this is a complete kit for about $250. You get the steering wheel cover, you get the paddles, the whole nine. It's very, very nice. And then obviously we have, you know, some LED bulbs in the interior and stuff, but that doesn't matter so much. This right here is also very nice, especially if you're considering a daily driver. This has Apple CarPlay, it has a backup camera, it has Bluetooth, it has everything you need. It's an Android tablet radio. It's called an Eonon 10.1. Very, very nice. It is like a Chinese radio, but to be honest with you guys, I've had no issues with it whatsoever. So definitely very nice. I did add the rear view mirror that is the compass and auto dimming. I really like that a lot. And then obviously you guys could see most of this stuff up here is for my radio. This is actually a remote start that was already in the vehicle when I bought it, which is very nice because that makes me not have to buy one. I put a remote start in my Jeep. I would have obviously put one in here, but it already had it. And then obviously I have an easy pass up there. But yeah, for the most part, there's not much done inside. I mean, I do have like a sub and stuff in the back, which I could show you guys really quickly. Same thing in the back, you know, everything is, I had my dog back here recently, so it's a little dirty, but same thing, matching seats with the front, same thing, matching door panels. And then if we come to the trunk, I do have my Sony Explode 12-inch sub. I got this sub box and capacitor, I believe it was, for 20 bucks, so you cannot beat that. And honestly, it sounds pretty good for a cheap sub. It definitely sounds good. So the amp I picked up myself. It's a power acoustic amp, capacitor, sub and everything. I keep oil and coolant back here because you never know when you'll need it. But other than that, I mean, there's nothing else back here. There's like an LED over there and stuff, but nothing crazy. Would pop the hood for you guys, but to be honest with you, there ain't shit under there. It's an NA Subaru, guys. Like, you can't make these things fast. Like, you can't. Like, if it's not a WRX or an STI, just don't waste your money on performance stuff. It's really not worth it. Like, I have a K&N drop-in filter, and I only did that because I could reuse it. I could wash it, oil it back up, and it's good to go. It saved me money in the long run from doing air filters every year or 6 months or whatever, whenever it's dirty. So there's not really anything to see underneath the hood. Just don't do performance mods to your NA Subaru. Suspension mods, on the other hand, I 100% stand behind, because you are sitting on pretty much the same chassis as a WRX. The STI is a little bit different, but for the most part, the frame and everything is the same. So think about how good a, WRX is going to handle on coilovers and some wider wheels and tires. You pretty much got the same vehicle, just with less power. So don't waste your money on performance upgrades. Don't do it. Tuning for these cars is like non-existent. You got to open source tune them. It's a waste. Like, well, I shouldn't say it's a waste. I'm sure it probably is decent, but you really want to spend money on that? I would rather make the car look nice, because what are you going to gain? It's an NA Subaru. What are you going to gain? Like 3 horsepower? Like, actually to the ground, to all 4 wheels? Like, it's not worth it, guys. It's not worth it. I have a built Mustang in the garage, and I'll be the first to tell you, like, throttle bodies and like stupid little stuff, unless you're like throwing a lot of air through a car, save your money, man. Like, you'll gain from like exhaust and stuff like that, but it's not going to be like night and day, guys. Like, honestly, like, if I can go back with the Mustang, I would have instantly supercharged it or turboed it right off the rip, because it's just, sometimes it's just the best thing to do, So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. That's going to conclude it. I just want to go over the whole car with you guys, let you know everything done to it, let you know the future plans with it, because there's not much left. So yeah, but if you guys have any questions for me, any concerns or anything you want to tell me, I'm available on Instagram or in the comments down below. I answer every single one of you guys. Every single one gets an answer. So if you got anything to say, drop it down below. Message me on Instagram. More than happy to communicate with anybody that wants to talk. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please drop a like up on this video. Drop a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel. We need 1,000 subscribers, guys. Please make it happen. All right, I will catch you in next week's video, Friday, 12 p.m. Peace out.